Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Loren Live Friday, the Friday before election. Can you believe that? We are 3 days away from Election Day, Friday night before election. It's been a journey, hasn't it? It's been a long journey. Um, I was reading through some of the messages on Facebook. Um, Absolutely love the response, you guys, that we're getting from our Facebook Lives, Lunch with Loren, and live video meet and greets that I've been doing all week. You guys are what has fueled this campaign. Couldn't have done it without you, and I appreciate it. I appreciate the enthusiasm. You know, I'm seeing people all over this state going out and waving Culp for Governor signs and flags. I hear all the honks from the cars that are going by. It's absolutely incredible. And I will be so happy to take over as governor and get this government back under control. Get it back working for we the people. Get it off our backs, get it out of our pocketbooks, and return common sense to Olympia. That's what this campaign has been all about. It is fueled by you, by we the people. And there's a little gnat flying around in here that apparently likes my eyeballs. So if I go blind for a minute, it's because that gnat found a new home. But I'm glad to be with you again tonight. Friday night, like I said, before election, 3 days away till Election Day. And we are going to make history in this state, you guys. It absolutely warms my heart to see all the support and to know that we are going to make a big statement, right? This is going to make national news. It has been since 1980, the last time that a Republican was voted in as governor of Washington State. Yep. Before a lot of you were even born. It's going to be amazing to just get this government off our back. You know, I talked last night about our farmers, how this government has just weaponized, you know, Jay Inslee's administration, the different parts of our government that have just been weaponized, you know, not just for this virus. You know, a lot of businesses are being fined $10,000 a day for not following Jay Inslee's rules, his orders. 7 months into this, people are just trying to hold on, trying to make a living, trying to feed their family, trying to pay their bills, pay their rent, pay their mortgage, and keep their businesses afloat. And they're getting fined $10,000 a day because of it. It's unconscionable, right? At the same time, you know, we have a governor who has ordered the state patrol to give I-5 to Antifa protesters. Of course, nonviolent, right? No, this governor's got to go. And then, you know, maybe we should talk about buying an election, right? Trying to, whatever they can do, because they know they're behind, right? I had a question, one person on Facebook asked how, you know, because I mentioned it last night, how do I know that we're ahead? Well, we do internal polling all the time, and so do they, and they know that they're in trouble. Ever since that debate, that's when things really took off. You know, this campaign's been growing ever since the first month. It's been growing every single month after that. For 15 months I've been campaigning. But that debate woke a lot of people up. They saw the difference between a career politician and someone with common sense from the real world. They saw what that's all about. And Jay Inslee absolutely got his behind handed to him in that debate. If you haven't watched that debate, go to YouTube, search for Inslee Culp debate, and then share it with your friends. Share it everywhere. But he knows he's in trouble, and he's trying to buy votes. Yes, trying to buy votes. He spent about $4 million last couple of weeks on TV ads because he knows he's in trouble. And that's all he's got, because he doesn't know what's going on in the real world. He's spreading more of his lies. And then just today, 3 days before an election, he announced on his Facebook page that he's going to buy 64,000 computers to send to our children for education. And he says it's because of the inequities in K through 12 education. 64,000 computers, as if that's going to make people vote for him 3 days before an election. Really? Where were these computers months ago? And how about all the kids that don't have internet or don't have good enough internet to learn through the internet? What about those people? You know, he talks all the time about inequities and systemic racism. Well, if that is the problem, what's he been doing for the last 8 years? Right? And Democrats have been in charge of this state for 35 years. So who's to blame? That's a good question, right? Who's to blame? And now he's saying, just elect me for 4 more years and I will fix everything. Yeah, well, I don't think so. 35 years to try to fix it, and the last 8 he's been in charge of. And now there's problems. Now, 3 days before an election, he's going to send out 64,000 computers. Our schools should be opened. Our businesses should be opened. We know how to operate safely. We know how to take care of our family. We don't want or need a governor as our healthcare provider. We need someone in the governor's office that is going to run the executive branch of the state government and get this government under control. Every person that I appoint to head the departments is going to have the same mindset that I do about government, that it is there to serve we the people. I'm looking forward to that. How about you? Leave me a big yes in the comment section if you're ready for that. It's coming. And to all of you people who are first-time voters, I'm seeing a lot of comments, first-time voters. And we're not talking people that just turned 18, even though that's great too. There are a lot of people in their 30s or 40s or 50s. I met a man the other night that was 62 years old, first-time voter, because he said he's never been energized enough to vote for someone or make a donation or have someone's campaign sign in their yard. But he was leaving the rally with a Culp for Governor campaign sign, and he donated to the campaign, and he's voting for the first time in his life. There's a lot of Democrats that are voting Republican for the first time as well. And we welcome you with open arms. You know, this is about common sense. This is not about Republican or Democrat or independent. It's not about a party. This is about common sense. This is about getting our government under control. It has been out of control so long. I mean, look at what's going on. We've got people living in tents all over the place. We've got people that are suffering in mental problems all over the place. I don't know how many times I've been downtown, name any city in this state, and seen people walking around talking to themselves. That's sad. That is sad. That's been going on for a long time, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. No matter how much of taxpayer money Jay Inslee throws at this problem, it's not getting fixed. It's like he doesn't want it to be fixed. And then turn over our freeways to far-left radicals, tell the state patrol to stand down, and then lie about it. I don't know about you, but I don't want a liar in the governor's office. So I had some questions that I read in the comments from the last couple of lives. And someone wanted me to talk about property taxes. And our property taxes, as everybody knows, around the state have gone up. That causes rents to go up for people that rent because the landlord has to pay higher taxes. They have to raise the rent. So housing costs go up. The reason that our property taxes have gone up so much is because Jay Inslee has doubled the state budget in the last 8 years. It's gone from about 30 billion to 60 billion under his watch. That's why property taxes have gone up. That's why they don't want to give us our $30 car tax, even though we voted for it 3 times. He's a tax and spend, far left liberal. And I, for one, am sick and tired of high taxes. I want a government that is under control. I want a government that works for we the people, that does more with less. And we can have that, and we will have that. Another question was about the nursing home money that I've talked about many times. It was in the debate. I brought that up in the debate. $41 million was sent from the federal government to the state for nursing homes, for extra equipment and extra staffing at our nursing homes, because that's where over 60% of the deaths have come from this virus, is in our nursing homes. Over 60% of the deaths from nursing homes. Let that sink in for a second. That's our parents. That's our grandparents. And with 60% of the deaths in the nursing homes, the federal government sent the state of Washington $41 million, extra equipment, extra staffing. And what did Jay Inslee do? He said, nope, we're not sending them that much. It equated to $29 per person per day extra for the equipment and extra staffing that was needed. $29 a day per person. And Jay Inslee said, no, we're not going to send them $29. We're only going to send them $5. Again, that's our parents, that's our grandparents. Over 60% of the deaths have come from nursing homes. Where is the rest of the money? He doesn't have an answer for that. And shame on you, mainstream media, for not pushing him on these and finding out where the citizens' money's at. Make him answer those questions. And then he turns right around and gives $30 billion to people who are in this country, or $30 million to people who are in this country illegally. What about all of the citizens of this state? What about their businesses? What about their families? What about their income? What about the unemployment? How about sending some of that money that you're giving to people who are in this country illegally to people who are here legally that are struggling? And we're not struggling because of the virus. They're struggling because of this governor's reaction to this virus. Let that sink in for a second. Who does he care about? Another comment that I had, question. Person said, don't forget about the fishing industry and salmon. Yeah, I've been talking about that off and on for a long time throughout this whole campaign. You know, our current governor says that we need to bring salmon back to feed the orcas. And I agree with that. I love the orcas. They're beautiful. If you've ever seen them in the wild, they're absolutely fantastic animal. We need salmon to come back for the orcas. We also need salmon back for an entire industry, both the commercial fishing industry, the sport fishing industry, and the tribes. We need that back for tourism. I remember when I was a kid growing up in Washington State. I've been a lifelong resident of Washington. And I remember growing up here in the 70s and raising my kids in the 80s and 90s. And Washington State used to have an abundance of salmon. You know, I went out to Westport and talked to people out there in the fishing industry. And there used to be over 300 charter boats that worked out of Westport alone, right? Not even talking about all the other ports around the state or the river guides, but 300 charter boats that worked out of Westport. Every boat had a captain and a crew making a living wage, and then you got all the support facilities because people would come to places in Washington like Westport, CQ, all over the state to go fishing, and river guides to go fishing for salmon because we haven't had an abundance of them. And so you had all the support facilities on shore, like the airlines, rental cars, hotels, cafes, sporting goods stores, gas stations, um, uh, fees for licenses for fishing, and they went from 300 over 300 charter boats in Westport down to less than 30 charter boats in Westport. That is an entire industry that is gone from this state. That's tourism. That's recreation for our citizens, all because of mismanagement at the state level. And that falls right at the feet of Jay Inslee. There's three things we need to do to get our salmon populations back. We need our hatcheries putting out 100%, build more where we need them, right? We need to control the predators. We can't just, with the Department of Fish and Wildlife, we can't just manage game animals. We have to manage all of the wildlife in Washington, and that includes predators. Birds, seals, and sea lions eat a lot of fish, and we can't let them pile up on our sandbars on our rivers, at the mouths of rivers, or at the bottom of our dams and eat salmon. They eat a lot of salmon. We can't allow them to overpopulate. Otherwise, it's going to cut down on the population of salmon. And then we need to work on the environment. Salmon need clean gravel to spawn in. Those three things are going to bring back our fishing industry, our tourism, our recreation for our families, and food for the table. That's going to happen. We're going to make it happen. Let's see. What else was there? How do we know that we are winning? I already covered that one. That's about it. So I want you guys to know that I appreciate, more than you will ever know, all of the support from all across the state, from all of you. 3 days to election. Tomorrow, don't forget, tomorrow, if you're anywhere close, even if you're not, get in the car, make a day trip of it. We're going to be over on the west side in Graham, and there's going to be activities for the kids. I hear there's going to be candy for trick-or-treating, but there's going to be activities. Bring the family. We'll have live music, food trucks, and it's going to absolutely be a blowout event. It's the last event that we're going to have until election night. So if you can get in the car, come on over to Graham. Be sure to go on this Facebook page, Culp for Governor, when I'm done here, and hit the events tab and get the address and the times, and then click that you're going so we kind of have an idea. We're expecting a big crowd, a friendly crowd, and it's going to be a blast. These always are. The last one we had in Graham was absolutely fantastic. So we're looking forward to that. But make sure you go to the events tab on the Facebook page and let us know that you're going. I'd love to meet all of you. After I'm done speaking, I come off the stage and I stay there until everyone has come through the meet and greet line. I love to meet we the people, the voters, because that's who I'm going to represent in Olympia. My little puppy just came over to say hi. So be sure to do that. I appreciate that. Be sure to leave me a comment too. Let me know that you voted. We need everyone, all of your friends, all your relatives. This is it. This is the last weekend. We have to push like there's no tomorrow, because pretty quick there's not going to be no tomorrow, right? We need every vote. Have to turn out. It's not a spectator sport. If we don't take this government back and return common sense to the Capitol, we might not get another opportunity like this in a long time. I want to say a special thank you to all the volunteers for this campaign. You know who you are. You have been working your tails off, getting signs out, handling them some swag, sending out messages. I appreciate it more than you will ever know. We've got this, you guys. We've got this. We just need to keep pushing for the next few days. We will send common sense to Olympia, and we will lead Washington's comeback. This goofball in the governor's mansion has been there far too long now, and his last-minute, last-ditch efforts, spending $4 million on advertising the last couple of weeks, and then throwing out that he's going to send 64,000 computers to children, K through 12. That's a little too late. Too little, too late. if there's inequities, if there is systemic racism, his party's had 35 years to get that fixed, and he has had 8 years to do something about it. He has failed big time. I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. I will talk to you soon. God bless you, and God bless Washington State. Don't forget, events tab, Facebook, Graham, tomorrow. Good night, everybody. God bless. Freedom Juice.